Alright guys, sorry I've been away for the past few days. I've been doing another project for the gaming channel, and to be honest, I had something that was time sensitive to do. So yeah, there'll be an announcement soon. Some people have already heard rumours of what I'm up to, so there'll be an announcement soon. But let's jump into it and let's get it off with a bang. Minnesota burns. Riots over George Flynn lead to arson and destruction of property. So what actually happened, right? So a person was arrested, or tried to be arrested, because supposedly because of this he was giving out, or being caught with a counterfeit bill. Now, the police officers subdued him. He resisted arrest, as far as I know, and while they were subduing him, they stood on his neck to subdue him. Now, they stood on there for about 8 or 9 minutes and literally cut off oxygen to his windpipe and killed him. Now, no defense to the police officers here. In this situation, this is a bad situation, right? I don't think it's racially motivated, like everybody's claiming it is, and I'll get to that in a sec. But at the end of the day, this is a bad situation. Should the cops be charged with murder? Probably, yeah. It's a bad situation because nobody is clearly in the right here. The cops are in the wrong because obviously they've stood on his neck and killed him. He's in the wrong because he was breaking the law, resisting arrest. There's no real I'm innocent in all of this. The whole situation's bad. But at the end of the day, yes, I do think the cops should also be charged with murder, because standing on someone's neck is bad no matter what language you speak. But he was resisting arrest, and they've gone through, and he has subsequently died. He's a father of 2, which, okay, it's great. You're just trying to use that as leverage now. But widely circulated footage of his arrest, Floyd was seen in the grounds with his hands cuffed behind his back as a officer, a white officer, pinned him to the pavement until he lost consciousness and later died. Now, like I said, he was resisting arrest as far as I know, and he was also breaking the law. Well, he had a counterfeit bill on him, so yeah. Now, obviously, subsequently, because everything is racially motivated, people are deciding to burn their city down to the ground, which is great if you want to prove your point of, how much you're not better than the rest of them. So at the end of the day, yeah, like I say, look, it's burning your city, rioting, for example, it's not good, okay? You're not literally proving your point here. You're actually, if anything, going to get people against you by doing this. So cut it out. But there's a list of, obviously, stores that have been gone through and have been damaged. Target, Lake Street, Wendy's, Lake Street, AutoZone, Lake Street, Curb Foods at Lake Street. Like I say, it's under construction. Affordable housing developments at the 26th and 29th have been destroyed by fire. Like I said, there is a whole bunch of stuff here that has been destroyed or damaged or whatever it may be. They've basically gone through and just looting the whole city. And like I say, this is bad optics. This is really, really bad. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to win anybody to your point. And sure, I think people are going through and just looting because they're opportunists. Sure, totally agree with that. Now, obviously, the mayor for Mississippi has come under fire for comments on the death. Mayor Hal Matrix of Mississippi said he didn't see anything unreasonable in the video of the arrest. Now, obviously, he's seen the footage, and we haven't, so he's seen the whole footage, body cam and all. So, presumably, he would know, but we'll have to wait for the body cam footage to come out, I suppose. NBC has banned reporters from using the word riots in coverage of Minnesota riots. mainly because of the optics, I suppose. But NBC is prohibiting reporters from using the word riot in its coverage of violent outbursts in Minnesota have occurred in response to the killing of George Floyd. Meanwhile, the situation on the ground in Minnesota is fluid, and there has been violence. It's been most accurate time to describe what is happening. There are protests, not riots. No, they're riots. Okay? Like, that's literally a riot. That's what that is. Right? At the end of the day, it's... There's a bit of optics that are involved here, because at the end of the day, they don't want to admit that it's rioting because there's a certain minority that is the ones that's largely responsible for rioting. So, you know. Like this, to me, this is rioting. This is not protest, this is rioting. But George Flynn protesters, rioters, set fires to Wendy's AutoZone in Minneapolis. So, protesters in Minneapolis, I might be mispronouncing, turned to looting and burning businesses, or what we like to call rioting, setting an AutoZone and Wendy's in a flame Wednesday night, numerous sources reported. George Flynn protesters have attacked an old woman holding knife in wheelchair while looting. A viral video shows an old woman being attacked by George Flynn protesters on Wednesday while they were looting a store. The woman can be seen holding the knife. So, you know, they're not even just attacking businesses anymore. They're even attacking some of the residences. And like I say, she's in a wheelchair. So, you know, all lives matter, except for if you're in a wheelchair and then, well, you know, hey, we're going to attack you. Supposedly. Past NAACP president blasts looters. These mother something need to go home. It's interesting that there all seem to be a certain race, isn't it? A woman identified as Dana Benz, past president of the local chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People, blasts rioters who looted a Target store Thursday in St. Paul's, Minnesota. The looting followed riots and looting in nearby Minnesota the night before after the death of George Flynn, the African-American man who died in police custody after an officer knelt on his neck while he was handcuffed. Benz, who has spent decades as a civil rights activist, told Richard Lopez of the Minnesota Reformer that she had to come to Target to buy medication for her daughter and that she was furious at the rioters for what they had done. St. Paul's ain't got something to do with what happened, she said. These people don't give a damn about George Flynn because they took and fired the police officers. They're going to charge them with an investigation is over. Someone injected, they got FBI investigating him. Come on now. President Donald Trump announced Wednesday that he had asked the FBI Investigation Department of Justice to investigate. That's right, Ben said. Also, hell, leave this stuff alone. These something need to go home. And I, most part, agree with her, actually. To be honest, I don't think this looting and this rioting and everything that's going on right now, I don't think a lot of it has to do with the murder. This is just, it's opportunism, right? These people want to go through and they want to just riot and loot stores, and George Flynn is a convenient tactic or a convenient excuse for certain people to go through and do it. That's all it is. We need an excuse. Hey, the cops killed a black guy. Let's go and riot. Let's go and smash up some stores. Let's go and steal some stuff. And hopefully, you know, we'll be able to get to keep it. And, oh, yeah, oh, by the way, they killed one of us, you know. Woo, yeah. But free stuff. Woohoo, yeah. Video. Protest reported looters ransacked Target store amid Minnesota's protest. Dozens of apparent looters stole televisions and groceries from the Target store near Minneapolis Police 3rd Precinct building as protests continued Wednesday over the death of George Floyd, according to local report. So, vast majority of them seem to be of a certain colour, but you know, suppose that would be a kind of inconvenient fact, I suppose. Minnesota's governor activates National Guard to restore calm amid escalating unrest over George Floyd's death. So, Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz activated the Minnesota's National Guard Thursday to help restore calm in the Twin Cities amid escalating unrest over the death of George Floyd, who died in the custody of Minnesota police on Memorial Day. According to the news released, the National Guard Adjutant General, who work with local government agencies to provide personnel, equipment, and facilities needed to respond to recover from this emergency. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey asked the Waltz to deploy the National Guard after protests turned violent Wednesday night, devolving into looting and rioting that has continued into Thursday and spread to St. Paul and surrounding suburbs. Unrest erupts again after death of George Floyd. Minnesota governor activates National Guard. Sorry. You can see there that he's another certain colour. And lives matter too. Before George Floyd, cops killed 400 others in the first 5 months of 2020. And how many of them were criminals? Probably all of them. Here's a crazy notion. Don't resist arrest and don't go breaking the law. I don't know, just a thought. Minnesota's mayor defends the officer who killed George Floyd. We've already sort of talked about this. And of course, obviously something's trending, so the celebrities have to get involved with it because, you know, at the end of the day, we want to trust the big brains of the Hollywood, you know, the big brains of the music industry. You know, when I want to go through and I want to make policies or like make decisions, what I do is I go and I talk to, like, I like go and follow Twitter, and I like follow Cardi B and like Alyssa Milano, because they are like the ultimate in brains and like authority on what's right and what's wrong, and like they're not like totally milking the situation for like points or anything at all. Yeah, pretty much. But anyway. But like I say, obviously she's gone through. Rapper Cardi B says the people who broke into the looted stores in Minnesota on Wednesday were left with no choice. They had no choice but to loot. It's not their fault. They had no choice. You know, they had no choice but to go and break into Target and steal the TVs. You know, because they had no choice in the matter. They had no choice but to resort to violence and steal from stores in response to the death of George Floyd. Because, you know, because some cop killing some guy means I get a free TV. Yeah, right? Yeah, sure. Okay. I don't know how that works, but whatever. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, like I say, look, to me, this whole situation, it's a bad situation. The cops are in the wrong for obviously standing on his neck and killing him. I obviously want to see the police footage when it comes out. But also, the people that are looting are also in the wrong, because at the end of the day, there's this smashing up stores. If you want to protest the death of this black guy, this African American, I would be supporting you. I would be on your side. But when you start smashing and looting stores, that's when I start going, well, hang on, no. This is no longer about you getting justice for a guy that was killed. This is about you wanting a new TV. This is about you wanting free stuff. Give free stuff. And that's what I have a big problem with. You're literally using the death of someone to be selfish. And that's where I have a problem. If you want to protest the death of this guy, you can do it. You can protest in the street as much as you like. I will be beside you. But when you start smashing and looting a store, stores, pharmacies, and everything like that, just because you want free stuff, give free stuff. That's where I'm like, no. And I'm like, no, this is no longer about the death of George Flynn. This is more about you wanting free stuff. Handouts. But anyway. But guys, that's where I fall in this situation. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. It's a little bit of a spicy take. But let me know what your thoughts are. Personally, I don't think anybody's in the right here. I don't think anybody has the moral high ground. I don't think the cops do because they killed a guy. The guy who got killed obviously doesn't because he was, as far as I know, resisting arrests and they were trying to charge him with a crime. So he was obviously breaking the law. And I don't think the protesters have the high ground either because they're rioting and smashing stuff. No one's in the right here. The only person that's in the right is the person sitting at home on Twitter going, God, I really wish the cops would stop killing people. They're the ones that probably have the moral high ground. And that's really sad. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Another 2 videos coming up. 3 videos for the day. Enjoy them, guys. And we'll be back in the next demonetized video from YouTube. 2 more videos coming up.